Okay guys, so we're finally back. This is going to be the final part to this build. We're going to finally place the water into the system. It's all ready. I have some extra water still being made now, but that should be ready by the time we're actually filling up this system. So what we're going to do first is actually place water into the return chamber, place water into the overflow. We're going to make sure there's no leaks whatsoever. I got some, hose clamps right here. I already took some crimps and crimped this one, but I still got to put some hose clamps on the other tube fittings, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're not going to put the temperature probe or anything in just yet until after the water's in there, and then I'll go ahead and set the temperature probe in there, and I'll set the live rock. Before we actually put the water in, I have what's here. This is Little Fishy's Reborn. It's crushed coral, same stuff that we use to put into my calcium reactors is what I'm actually going to put into this section here. But what I'm going to do first is put in some bioactive live aragonite reef sand, which is from Nature's Ocean. It's basically just live sand, folks. So I'm going to put that 1/2 inch in here all the way down, and then I'm going to put another 1/2 inch to 1 inch of just this nice crushed coral after I put some in a bowl and rinse it out with some RO water, because you don't want any of this powder leaching out. You can, but then it's going to take a little bit more time for it to filter out that powdery, look in the water. So just make sure you clean that out with some RO water, and then go ahead and place that in if you're ever going to do something like that. But it's a good substance, good substrate for any softies to attach and adhere itself to. So when you're ready to give it to someone or have it attached to something, you can just pull it off that substrate, it'll attach itself, and then you can just attach it to some rock work and you're all good. Other than that, we got some live nitrifying bacteria. This is Dr. Tim's live nitrifying bacteria. We're going to go ahead and pour that in, but that's after we have the live rock, we have the water in, we have stuff where it's actually the living bacteria is going to attach to, because it needs porous areas. It's in need of something that's going to be able to house the bacteria. Simply just pouring bacteria into the water doesn't mean you're housing bacteria. It needs stuff to actually latch onto. It needs something porous where it's going to grow, it's going to do its thing. We're going to drop a fish in there. I already got a fish that's ready to go into here. That way the ammonia cycle starts and the good denitrification process starts with all of the stuff that we're going to be doing today. So basically, we're just going to get this tank going. We're going to put this to an end. There is no MP10. There is no protein skimmer. They have not been delivered yet, but there's no need for that. There is no need for a UV sterilizer. This is a system that's barely being started up. Never want to put a UV sterilizer in the beginning. Never want to get that protein skimmer started either. You want the system to be able to cycle itself through. You want that bacteria to flourish and bloom. You need things to start working not against each other, but with each other, where bacteria is going to be consistent with each other, more like equaling itself out, creating an equilibrium rather than being more of another. Because that way, this system will cycle itself much faster, much quicker, and I can get some coil in here, within probably like a couple days time rather than weeks or months. So just remember, it's its own system, so there is still a little bit of a cycling process here. But other than that, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start crimping some more hose clamps, and we'll be back in just a bit. Okay guys, so what I'm doing right now, I'm going to go ahead and put the sand in and put the crushed coral in. I already got this washed out with RO water, and when we come back, that'll be in. Okay guys, so I ended up putting water into the overflow. We went to, what I did was just wanted to make sure there was no leaks whatsoever down the vinyl tubing. From, you can see right here to this end, from this end, everything seems to be good. There's no leaks whatsoever. Felt everything, touched everything, just made sure it's all just sealed tight. So what I'm going to do now is put water into the return chamber here in the sump, and I'm going to go ahead and test that area out. And if everything's good, we're going to go ahead and start filling everything up with water, start putting in the live rock, and get this system rolling. Okay guys, be back in a bit. Okay guys, so we're back. I already got water filled into this chamber here. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn on the vector pump right now. And we just put this nozzle down because we don't want anything going up actually. And I'm gonna check this out, make sure it's, there it is. Slowly but surely. There it is. right, no leaks. I love it. You can see we're testing it out. When you test this out, you only want to fill in that one chamber, because if anything goes wrong, you can just turn it off, hands on, you're able to work with the system, not letting it all the water work against you. So you want to start things off slowly. No leaks on this end. Okay, we're dry, so now it's losing suction. We're gonna go ahead and turn that off. And now we know we have no leaks. There we go, guys. Now we're gonna fill this baby up. All right. Okay, guys, so we're back, and you can see here we got most of the water into the system already, into the Frag tank. You can see everything's basically where it needs to be at. I don't want to actually top it off just yet, because I want to put in the rock, which is actually gonna do what we call water displacement. So by adding more rock into the system, you guys already obviously know that water tends to rise because of the fact that there's water displacement, because the rock itself is going to just basically push water out, because it's going to be housing itself into the system. So anyways, I'm going to start putting in this rock here. This all came out of the bedroom tank here. And if you come closer, Arlene, you can see all the crustaceans. There's probably copepods and all these different type of microorganisms in there, microfauna if you want to call it. But we're going to go ahead and place this into the system. These lighter pieces are probably going to go up on top. These darker pieces will stay on the bottom. But I'm going to go ahead and do that, placing the water, and we'll start getting it going. And we'll be back in just a bit. Okay, so you can see we got the rocks already into the system right here, into this Frag tank. So there's one rock there. And then I got a little bit of rubble rock down on the bottom here in the sump area. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn on the system, get everything rotating. I'm going to go ahead and start connecting the temperature probe. That's going to connect to the oh my God, I can't even remember myself. The GHL monitor. And this is going to connect into the main control panel. And that way we can monitor temperature. The temperature can start heating the water. The water's already heated, but it's getting cooler as I'm actually putting it into the system. So we want to make sure that the system itself stays heated, because after we put in this nitrifying bacteria in there, we want everything to start cycling in before we actually add the fish in. We got a clown tank that's actually going to come into the system within an hour or two of this video. So yeah, so we want to make sure temperature and everything's good, is going to be where it needs to be at. I want it set like at least at 75. I'm going to set it to 77, but I want it at least at 75 before I drop the fish in. And definitely make sure that everything's good to go. And look at that. If you come right here, Arlene, come right here, look in there. Look what you see crawling around already. Go down in there. See, those are copepods. You can see those little things there. You can see them scurrying around, running around. There's copepods in the water. Look at that. See? And there's all the organisms. I'm telling you guys, it's always beneficial to have rock sitting in an aquarium, because then when you pull that out and you actually bring that back into a new system, it starts everything up quickly, nicely. So we'll be back in just a bit, and we'll get the system operating as it should be. Okay guys, so I already poured in the nitrifying bacteria. You can see the surface agitation here. You want to pour this in with good flow. Basically, we're going to let the tank sit for like about an hour and a half. That way the bacteria can settle itself in the rock work, grab itself, adhere itself to whatever it needs to make a home out of everything. You can see we got all the water in. You can see here in the sump area here, water's flowing down to the sump, the return, everything's good. There's no leaks whatsoever. We got the temperature probe connected to the GHL Profilux Mini. It's reading 71 degrees right now. I am going to actually calibrate the pH probe. That's going to be another day. For now, we just want to get the temperature set, the water's in there. Basically get the gears rotating, circulating, and just getting the chance for this clown tank to be able to make a home out of this. So that's about it. We got the water in the RO chamber. It's reading about 3.5 gallons. And we'll go ahead and put the cap on there. And when we come back, we're going to have this out of the box, and we'll have the... I won't turn on the Kessel light just yet. I'll actually do that myself, program it into the app, and that way it can set itself going. basically this is the system right now. Later on in another video, I'll show you guys me connecting the MP10 to this, doing a few other things, connecting the dosing pump to the dosing containers, having to test everything, making sure everything's set and ready for whatever needs to be put into here. Coral frags, I'm going to start putting in some frags pretty much by within a few days time, but you know, obviously I'm going to test and make sure alkalinity levels, calcium, magnesium, everything needs to be where it's at. pH will obviously show me right here with the pH probe and everything. Other than that, this is it. All right, guys, so we are at the end of this build. I'm just installing the cap right now. You can see there it is. There's the Griffin bandsaw. What is it? The Diamond bandsaw by Griffin, made in the USA. There it is. We got the clown tang in there. It's basically an hour and a half after from the last clip. But you can see everything's circulating, everything's doing well, the sump is operating good, temperature probe is reading correctly, everything's at what, 74 degrees right now. I don't have the dosing unit connected obviously, I still have the battery backup to connect, but we're going to go ahead and do that another time. Everything of the importance is on, connected, cycling, fish is in. We got even the chiller activated because this area does get a little warm sometimes. So the Kessel light is on, but I'm going to go ahead and turn that off in just a bit. I still got to get it programmed and everything and get it all in with a certain program. Once I do the PAR measuring, because I got to measure the PAR, I still got to do all that. So everything is basically set and looks good, looks great. This is it. Looks awesome. And yeah, guys, you know, this is the Herm 14. Appreciating you guys and the fact that you guys are watching these videos and these parts of mine. And oh yeah, we got the acrylic sheet on, acrylic screws and all that. But yeah, this is the Herm 14 just saying patience and stability. Patience and stability, guys. And yeah, just keep on reefing, keep on moving forward. And just understand, do your testing, ICP testing, regular testing. Testing works, just remember that. Tropic mineral salt is what I'm using here. Not all salts are the same. And I can keep going on and on, but you know what, guys? I'm just happy that finally a year later we were able to get this Frag system going. Finally built. I can't wait to start actually clipping coral and start placing them in there, getting those fry racks out of my other system, come in here. Dogs are obviously barking, they're misbehaving, but oh well. All right, guys. Patience and stability. Peace.